Happy Tuesday, everybody. Everybody have a good Labor Day?
Yes.
Yes, did you?
What?
You were the one who enjoyed the time off.
The only one that wasn't labor.
You're surrounded by workers.
I know. Well, I hope everybody enjoyed it.
I did.
Listen, this morning we're talking about what you can't always believe what you read on social media, and it's something.
Yes.
I feel like as journalists we're super skeptical about
Yes.
these things, and likely not to fall for it. But evidently that's not the case for some folks. They are passing down advice, we'll say, on who might be the most susceptible to misinformation online.
Yes, and guess who that is? Researchers have found,
Yep.
sadly, seniors believe about 43% of the things they read on social media. 75% of seniors use the internet to access Facebook, and outside of talking to family are primarily looking for health-related content. The study noted that the findings can help shed light on online scammers and who they are trying to target. And I said, my mom is one of the biggest culprits. If she's watching, I wake up and if she sees anything on Instagram, like a reel, it's about like what you should feed your kids, what you should do. She sends it to me. I have my own social media just from my mom. That it's like what are all these
Your mom
videos?
cares about you.
That's right.
She wants me to see these videos that might not always be true, though.
So we want to know this morning, do you find yourself susceptible to some of these things? Do you find yourself confused, or maybe you're like us and you're sort of a built-in skeptic about these things?
Melissa says, my mother will believe the internet over her 46-year-old daughter. So she goes, I feel this.
Yes, feel
if my mom's watching, I love you, Mom. But
Amen. Amen. No, I know it's the same luckily, my parents have pretty much gotten off of social media. So that is very helpful because I think that's where a lot of it comes from. On occasion, though, I'll mainly at this point, I just get dog videos from my mother.
That's okay.
Which,
well, those are the videos that you want to receive.
I'm all about.
Can you add me to the text?
I know, right? I know. But I will say, I went to my mom's phone the other day because she was showing me something, and she gets so much spam email. And I'm like, Mom, why don't you cut? Like, you're getting thousands of emails a day from Belk and J. Crew and what?
Unsubscribe.
And she's like, well, I might need some of these. I'm like, no, you don't need any of these.
Well, not that there's anything wrong with them, but
they're lovely companies. But I was like, Mom, this is really clogging up your phone. You don't need.
I should probably go through my email as well.
I know.
Of course, as you mentioned that.
See, no, meanwhile, I'm the exact opposite. My parents, they're like just now getting into social media. And my mom is a huge skeptic. She believes nothing.
Good.
So she's the last one to fall susceptible. No, I don't think I would consider her a senior. So I want to make sure I put that out there before she gets offended.
Yeah. Give her some
she might be
time.
watching right
She
now.
might be.
Give her some time.
Hank saying it's really bad on a particular website where for around $10 you can be a verified user. Making misinformation appear legitimate. It's very true.
I love Hank.
Joy, I delete a lot of emails.
Yes.
Smart.
So, you know what I find, too, on Facebook, that I will see, like, friend requests or, you might know this person, and it's someone you're like, I thought I was already friends with them. And then you go to their page, and you're like, are these scammers creating second accounts? Did they really create the second account? I don't have time to message them and say, did you really create this? But I feel like I see those things all the time on Facebook.
I know.
Yeah, I always do cross-checking. I always like to, when we're doing different reports, try to find 5 sources that are actually going to back it up. Now, sometimes you're not going to be able to find that many, depending on what it is. But yeah, just kind of see. But then the problem is sometimes social media is kind of like a train that one person says something, and then that person says it, and then all these other websites are verifying it, but really they're just retweeting the same information.
Just go to the Google.
Go to the Google.
And they have a link.
Find a reliable source, or email us and get it verified, right?
One conversation I actually had with my mom this weekend, I forget what we were talking about. It was some story. That it was a new story, and I think it was old, and she was telling me like it was new. I was like, Mom, I think that happened a few years ago. But I said, and I've told this to viewers before, I was like, make sure you always look at the date of the article.
Yeah.
I was like, because so often people repost things that are still relevant or still might be newsworthy or whatever.
But they're 2018.
But they're from 2018. I was like, just so anytime you read anything, I was like, make sure you're looking at the date. I was like, because a lot of times, even though it's still a news story, that particular part of it is
Yeah.
years old. And
Missing context.
I don't feel like enough people look at that when they go through.
One of the problems we have in the weather department, when there's a big storm, we always get these pictures. Oh, look at this giant tornado that's in this huge storm system. And sometimes they're bogus, sometimes they happened years ago, but they're posted as if this happened.
Yeah.
And this was in our area, and you got to be careful about that.
There's a shark one that pops up every year.
Yeah,
Yes.
You can see the road, the yellow lines, and a shark in the water. Yeah. I don't even know where that one came from, but
I feel like we've done a verify on that at some point.
That's the one. The shark in the water. Don't believe it.
Because you can do a Google image search
I was just going to
and
say.
see where it came from. And that way, if
How do you do a Google image search? You put it in.
I was about to
you
say,
go to the Google.
You go to the Google, as Lara
Go
says.
to the Google.
Go to the Google.
Like for people who don't know how to do it, I feel like I never do reverse.
I've only done it on my phone, so I don't know how.
Oh.
See that quick
okay.
trailer to the right? Like, so instead of
and then
just
you can
searching.
upload an image. And
Oh, so in the search bar, there's a
Yep.
camera.
Yes.
And you click on that and then put your picture in there. And it will show you, has this picture been online in the past? I feel like it's such a great tool for people to use, and they don't know that.
And on the
I'm
phone,
so
you can have a
intrigued.
widget that you can just click on, too. So I have, like, my little Google search bar widget, and then you just have the button right there.
Well, my mom would not know how to do that, you know? I feel like...
Now she knows.
Hey, there you go.
You didn't,
know?
you didn't know how to do it.
I know. That's why I was asking.
You know,
This story is really about Sarah French that we're talking about.
The whole thing about Google came from George Bush II when they asked him if he ever used his computer. He goes, I like the Google.
Google.
I'm on the internet sometimes.
Didn't they just pass up an anniversary, too? Google?
Yes, because I
25
saw,
years.
I think the Early Today did a story because they originally called it Back Rub. Like
Okay.
that was the original name. This was on Early Today.
Wow.
You can Google it.
I'll Google it.
You can Google it.
Google that.
Because it was talking
Back
about how
rub?
yes, and it was
Go
a
ahead.
picture of the. Look at this. I want to show you guys
All right, here we go.
Google's
Reaction.
You're on the
original
Google.
name. I may not know how to do reverse image search, but I am
say.
informed. Back rub. Thank you very
So
much.
what's the story behind it?
So it was something about like Google. They use like the back codes or whatever in articles where if you search something, it would come up. So that's how they came up with
Would
the
you
name.
search the back rub? Is that what they were
Stop.
back
Well, I
in
was
the
going to
day?
say, just back
Well-
Search back rub
like
on your
that.
company
I don't
computer.
like
Remember Ask Jeeves many years
Yeah,
ago?
I remember back in the day. There's Ask Jeeves. There was Alta Vista. There was Yahoo.
Yes.
There was
Yahoo's still around.
Yeah, there was.
Yeah.
What were
But
some of the other
thankfully
search
it was
things?
renamed.
There's
Google.
Bing.
Bing has
Bing's
tried
still
to.
around,
I remember
I
when
used
they
to
tried
use
that.
searchalot.com.
Wow.
Not one of the most popular ones.
Never heard of that one.
Yeah, no, it is.
Search a lot.
Searchalot.com.
I don't even
You
think
got what you paid
Google
for.
existed though. When we were in high school, when I was in high school, it didn't.
No, it definitely didn't when I was in high school.
What do you mean? 10 years ago, Larry.
All right. So let us know. Do you get confused by these things? Because we all do. Do you know how to Google image search? That's the real question.
Well, Jane says thank you for letting her know how.
See?
You're very
People want to know. I'm not the only
No,
one.
I think a lot of people don't know how to
People
do
want to
it.
know, but
Kim
see,
taught me recently. So
they
you're
like
not
to give
alone.
me a hard time.
And we learned about back rub.
Yes. Sarah French taught us about back
I think it
rubs.
really took off though
That's-
in 2004 maybe when it became Google.
Google.
The Google.
When they became public.
We learned about back rubs today from Sarah
Anyway.
French.
There we go.
I do know some things, Ben.
There you
I
go.
know.
I don't doubt it at all.
Don't act like my children who they just look at their mother like.
I don't doubt it at all. All right, folks, chime in. We'll see you back here for a Wednesday edition of Wake Up Charlotte to Go.